Look, it's no secret we all want to win big. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to win big. Okay? But here's the thing. When you win big, it doesn't happen overnight. Unless you win like the lottery or something like that. Then you end up usually losing big as well. You see, big wins come from small steps. Right? Like I've had some big wins in my life, but it's taken decades of small steps to lead up to that big win. Right? Even if you're a championship football team, you have to win 13 to 16 games throughout the season to be able to make it to the Super Bowl to win big. Right? Each one of those games were small wins along the way until you get to the big game. The NFC championship, the AFC championship, the wild card game, the Super Bowl, right? You have to have a series of small wins in order to get to that championship game. See, many of you overlook these small wins and you think that they're insignificant. And then what happens is you never get to the big game and you never get to the championship because you've been focused on the championship the whole time instead of focusing on the smaller wins. Baseball games are not won by home runs. Baseball games are won by people hitting singles and getting on base and consistently stealing and consistently getting around those bases and consistently getting to home base. Right? Baseball games aren't won from home runs. Like, sure, the batter goes up there and he thinks, okay, man, I'm going to hit a home run. But if not, I'm just going to put it between first and second and knock into the outfield and get on base. That's what I want to do. Right? That's what you got to do in life. See, if you want to win big, you're going to have to take small steps to get there. For example, let's say that you want to make $1 million a year. It's a totally valid income level in 2020. Totally valid. Something that's totally doable. Matter of fact, there is 17,000, if I remember correctly, 17,985 new millionaires every year. It's just in America, right? That number might even be higher than that. It might even be 400,000 new millionaires every year in America. It's an astronomical number, so it's not something that's out of the box or something that's unattainable, because if it's 20,000 or 500,000, I can't remember which, I think it's 500,000 people that become, I think it's 17,000 people a day, actually, which leads up to like 500,000. It's a lot, okay? And so the reason why I share that with you is all these people are becoming millionaires, not because one day they stepped into $1 million. It's because they created a business, built that business started to take off, business started to make some money, they sold it, made their $1 million bucks. Okay? For you, you might want to make $1 million in a year. You can't focus on 7 figures. It's probably too much for your mind to wrap around, especially if you grew up with humble beginnings like me. But if you get focused on making $3,000 in sales a day, or $3,000 in earnings and commissions a day, and that's all you focus on, not what you make in a month, not what you make in a quarter, not what you make in a year, what you do by the day, those small steps at $3,000 a day over the course of a year lead you to have a 7-figure income. See, many of us, we think, oh, I'm going to make 7 figures, and we start really hard, and we go, shit, man, I only made 20 grand this month. I'm a long ways off from the $86,000 I needed to make in order to be on track to make $1 million. Nah, maybe it ain't for me. And the force of average just comes in and slaps the mule piss out of you with reality. All right? We can't have it like that. We have to define things down to the most simplest part, because here's the thing about simplicity. Simplicity sells. And more importantly, simplicity sells the subconscious. So when you have something simple in your mind, it sells your subconscious that it's possible and that you can be successful from these small steps. When we start thinking in big things, like we say, oh, 10x, or I want to make $1 million, so I'm going to set my goal at 10 million. Well, guess what? You couldn't even make $1 million. How the fuck are you going to make 10? And then when you fail to make $1 million because you set your goal to 10 million, you're only going to be 10 times disappointed. You have to break shit down into small, simple steps. Because big wins come from the compound effect of simple things adding up over time. If you want to lose weight, you don't say, hey, I'm going to lose 30 pounds this week. That's not how it works. You say, I'm going to lose a ½ pound a day for 60 days. Right? Boom. Then all of a sudden you got 30 pounds that you've let off yourself. And then you maintain it and you keep growing from there. The big wins in life come from simple steps, right? You got to swing singles and get on base. That's how games are won. You got to win the games all the way up to the championship. But guess what? If you don't win enough games on the way to the championship, you'll never get an opportunity to be a champion. And if all you're focused on is like, I don't have to win any of these other games, I only want to win the Super Bowl. Well, first of all, the way to win the Super Bowl is to fucking win the games to get there. So I want you to start thinking today. I want you to break down a plan, and I want you to start doing this. What do you want in life? Okay, what do you want financially? What do you want physically? What kind of mindset do you want? And what do you want from the people that are around you in your life? And then I want you to map out what are the simple daily, not weekly, not monthly, not annual, the daily steps that you need to take in order to make that happy. If you want to make $1 million in a year, it's $3,000 a day. If you want to lose 80 pounds by the end of the year, it's a half a pound a day or so, right? It's a quarter of a pound a day, right? It just means cutting out 300-400 calories a day. No big deal, right? You want to be mentally tough to be able to run a marathon, you're going to have to start running a half a mile a day. Start with a 100-yard dash, work your way up to a quarter mile, work your way up to a half mile, work your way up to a mile, to 5 miles, 10 miles, 25 minutes, right? You got to work your way up. But it comes in these simple steps. That's how you build endurance. Not just endurance in your physical body by running marathons and stuff like that, but endurance in your finances, endurance in your mindset, endurance in your relationships. Because listen, you're not always going to agree with every friend that you have. You're not always going to agree with every mentor that you have. But you got to build up that endurance so that you have so many small wins that when you have a loss, right, the two of you disagree or whatever the case may be, you fight with your spouse or whatever the case it may be, then at the same time, it's just a temporary setback because you've got more wins, so you're going to keep that momentum going for you. You see, big things come from small wins. Championship games come from a combination of regular season wins along the way. Baseball games are won by singles and getting on base. And all that's a metaphor for how life works. So as soon as you break it down to the most simplistic form, and you start taking those steps, because simple sells, your life will change, you'll win big, and you'll look up one day and you'll think, man, I got here a champion because of a series of small steps and small wins along the way. If you enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn notifications on, give me the thumbs up, leave a comment down below. I love engaging with you guys and replying. You guys crack me up too. Y'all write some fucked up shit, which I enjoy that as well, right? And lastly, share this with somebody who needs to hear it. And remember, we put new content out on this channel all the time. So make sure that you subscribe and turn the notifications on so you don't miss any of it. And the last thing, the big thing, is map out and do the homework that I just gave you so you can take those small wins every day and turn them into big breakthroughs. Thank you.